Hey Floss Tube, it's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Thursday. It is the 23rd of February. February. And this is Floss Tube number 67. Welcome. Welcome to my channel if you've not visited before. Welcome back if you have. It is... quiet doesn't even quite cover what it is today. It is deader than a doornail today at the shop. The weather outside is frightful, so I can't blame anyone for not coming out. I wouldn't if I didn't have things to do. And you never know when someone is, going to have a stitching emergency and require something. So, but they haven't so far today. It's just been me and me in the shop today. So after I got everything finished at the front desk, thought, well, maybe I will attempt to do, I got a frame in that's been on back order since October. Yeah, probably since October. When did I take this? No, November. No, October. She brought it in October. So, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, I got distracted. She brought it in October, and the frame just came last week. So, it is what it is. We just have to learn patience. But I thought I would give, it's already stretched, but I always tweak the stretching after I get the frame just to make sure that it's absolutely perfect. So I thought I would attempt to do that while maybe talking to you guys a little bit about some things. Nothing earth-shattering, just thought I'd chat. You guys seem to like my chat from the last video, so I thought I would chat some more and see how this goes. Now, you'll probably be looking at the top of my head most of the time because I'm going to have my head down to tweak this, and I'm going to have my glasses on. So, stitch. You don't need to see me to hear me, I guess. And we'll see how this goes. I might decide that this isn't working for me and just say, nope, we're just going to chat. But I'd really like to get this done since she's been waiting November, December, January, 4 months. It's better than a year, but it's still not great. I don't know how the fingers are going to work. Right now they feel pretty good. But again, having my head down and my arms out is what tends to make them go numb. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm cured, do you think? Aren't these lovely? They're Lori Holt. So I had some questions. I don't know where I'm gonna lay these. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for your kind comments on the last video, saying that you enjoyed the chat, and for participating and letting me know what you were working on, and if anything had caught your eye at Nashville. And I had said at the time that nothing had really sparked my interest, and that seemed to be at that time what all of you were thinking also, was that not much was really sparking your interest. I think what happened was maybe we were just a little ahead of the game. Things kind of seemed to come out a little more slowly this year, because pre-orders picked up, and I've seen some things that I like, so we'll talk about all that. But I just want to thank you all for answering my questions from last time. I appreciate it. Let's see, and I'm gonna fracture this name. I am so sorry, but Super Beleza, Super Belz, something like that. Anyway, she said She made a comment about, she says I'm so natural in front of the camera, and that kind of makes me laugh because, you know, you're listening to the girl who would take F's in school to avoid having to do any kind of an oral presentation, stand in front of the crowd or the class. I dropped out of college because of it, because there was no way I was taking speech. And most of the time when I'm sitting here in front of the camera, I am so self-conscious that it isn't even funny. So I'm glad that you guys can't tell. Maybe some of you can, but anyway, I appreciate you saying that I am natural in front of the camera, because I think I stutter and stammer around so much, it can't be pleasant to listen to me. Just my opinion, for what it counts. Let's see. And then several of you wanted to know the colors that I'm using on a Tisket a Tasket. Holy moly. Oh, no, I have it. I'm going to give you a minute to go and get a pen and paper so you can write it down while I bring up I took a photo of the thing. My notes. That's the thing. I took a photo of it. So go get your pen and paper. I will wait for you. And then I will tell you what colors I'm using. So go on, hurry up. We don't have all day. Okay, I need to pull that a little tighter right there. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. So, grits, stayed grits, king mackerel. These are all Weeks colors, by the way, that were called for. Mine, I think, are a little bit of everything. Yeah. Hopefully I can remember what they are. King mackerel is Tennessee red clay. Galvanized became oilcloth. Tennessee red clay is Classic Colorworks. Oilcloth is a Weeks Dye Works. That's in place of galvanized. In place of Weeks Tin Roof, I used Classic Colorworks Joshua Tree. In place of Porpoise, which is a Weeks Dye Works, I used Garrison Green, which is a Weeks Dye Works. Weeks Dye Works Fathom became Cherry Bark, which is a Gentle Arts, I believe. Yeah, Gentle Arts. Weeks Deep Sea became Weeks Cayenne, one of my favorite reds. Weeks Blue Jeans became Weeks Baked Apple. And Weeks Jaybird became, I think it's Classic Colorworks Wild Berries. So those are the colors that I am using. They are very soft and muted for the most part. What did I say? I needed to tighten this. But yeah, I'm glad that you think that my conversion is pretty. I'm enjoying it. I haven't stitched on it this week. I didn't stitch much last week. I was having a bad week with my hands. And but I did stitch a little bit Saturday night during Zoom. I worked on my it is really dry in here, so excuse me if I cough. We are having a red pin pillow exchange at Retreat in April. And so I just thought maybe I better start my exchange piece. So I worked a little bit on that. I deliberately chose something that wasn't going to be a whole lot of stitching since I'm not stitching a whole lot. I don't have it with me, so I can't show it to you. But I worked a little bit on that. I worked last night. I did a little bit on, oh, what is the name of it? It's an old butternut road, I think. I can't remember what it is. I'll do another video showing you my progress. But I worked a little bit on that last night. Finished the, what did I finish? The overhang on the porch. There's a word for that, but I don't know what it is. Portico, no. We're just going to call it the roof that goes over the porch. So I finished that. And that was good. I did that until Dan came home. He had to teach. And then he came home, and then we watched Will Trent. Have you watched Will Trent? It's a good show if you haven't watched it. I'm enjoying it greatly. Okay, that looks good. So, yeah, that was the conversion. I'll try and remember to put it in the description box below in case you didn't have pen and paper when you were listening to this. I'll try and do that. L. Harris asked if my pink dog sampler could be stitched on Ada. I had to think about this one really hard, and then I had to consult my friend Donna, and we kind of both came to the same conclusion. Because the original stitcher was a little quirky in her stitching, and I charted it as she stitched it. There's some of the alphabet is eyelet stitches, which are you can't do on. I suppose you could, but if you were doing huge stitches, but it's not easy to do that on Ada. You could. We decided that you could potentially do just regular cross stitches, but her stitches like go over 5 stitches, so and you'd only be able to do like 4, so like 2 stitches side by side. I'm explaining this really badly. Anyway, you could do it. You would have to adjust it. It would not be easy, and it's not going to look the same. So I'm sorry about that. But it could be done. It just wouldn't be easy to do. Let's see. Cheryl Higdon commented that she liked the Morning Glory sampler from Shannon Christine, but she said I would hate it because it's blue. Au contraire. I do like the Morning Glory sampler. I just would never stitch it because it's blue. I'd have to change it just like I've changed the Tisket to Tasket. I would have to change it to something more along the lines of probably a red. Although I think the blue is very pretty, it just doesn't go in my house. And I think the chart is really pretty. I like it. I like it. But I hate would be a very strong word. It's just not, the blue is just not to my taste. How's that? Does that sound better? I think that sounds better. What is going on here? Okay, that needs to, let's see, what else? And last time, I think I mentioned one of the things that I liked from the Needlework Market was Beloved, and I think I said maybe that it was from Mojo Stitches, but it's not, and it's actually, the designer is Running with Needles and Scissors. God, now I'm drawing a blank again. Anyway, I I said that wrong. So that's where we're at. That was it for the comments and the questions. Let me ask you again, have you seen sorry, I'm trying to figure out which direction to go here. I think I will pull it a little tighter here. Have you seen anything since my last video, which was almost 2 weeks ago now? Have you seen anything that's now caught your eye that you didn't see before, or did you not? Have you not even bothered to look? I of course have been looking because I've been taking pre-orders and such from everybody, and there's quite a few that I've seen now that I like. There seems to be a ton of samplers. And I'm fairly picky about my samplers. So there's not a ton of them that I like, but there are a ton of them to choose from. But I did jot down a couple that I like, and I'll talk about them in just a minute. One of them is from Hands to Work. She just recently sent me an email with her releases, and I thought this usually they have real religious sayings on them, and it's not that I don't believe in God, I just don't like to have it all over my stitching. And I liked the verse on this one. It was called One Warm Thought. So if you haven't looked at that, check it out. I thought the sampler design itself was good, and I liked, like I said, I enjoyed the verse on it more than I normally do. So that was one sampler that I kind of liked, and I've already mentioned I like the Beloved sampler, but I think on that one I would probably just do the birds. The more I think about it, I can see just those birds mounted on a shaker box, and I have a couple of those that I've bought from the Brass Armadillo over the last few months, and one of them has to be able to fit, and so I can see it mounted on that as an option other than framing, although I think it could also be gorgeous matted and framed if you pick the right matting. So that's one of them that caught my eye. And what else? Kathy Barrick's Majestic Bird I thought was very different, and I seem to be in a bird phase, so I like that one a lot. And it's not a sampler, which is kind of nice to have something I like that's not a sampler. Tighten it right there. What else? Needlework Press has one. It's not like the third in the series, but they all kind of go together. There was Be Exceedingly Diligent was the first one. Can't remember the name of the second one. And then this one is called Be a Friend. And I like it. It's small, on the smaller side, at least from what I can tell. It's on the smaller side. And it just kind of appealed to me. There's a Primrose Cottage Welcome to the North Pole that I thought was really cute. I can't necessarily say that I would actually stitch it. Would I stitch it? I might. But it's really, really cute, and I liked it. Okay. That looks pretty good. What else do I like? Silver Creek's Introverted. I like that one. I like that one a lot. And let's see. Stacy Nash had two that I liked. The Spring Chicken's Pin Keep, and the Wonderful Life drum. I like both of those a lot. Okay, are you going? Summer House Stitchworks, her 2023 Fragments in Time. They're based on Berlin woolwork, I think, is what I read. And there, I've seen the first two, and they look very pretty. The colors are very pretty. Yeah, it's got to go. It's got to be loosened right here. Let's see, Tiny Modernist. I only put Tiny Mods on my note. Tiny Modernist has the Stitcher's Garden and the Black Crow that I thought both were very nice. And Twin Peak Primitives had the Patriotic Smalls, and of course the one I mentioned before, Scheherazad's Dream, the sampler. And Works by ABC has one called Exquisite Lace that is just stunning. I don't think I would ever stitch it though because it's white. Yes, you could do something different, but I think the reason it's so stunning is because it's done with the white. But I can see it on I think it looks like to me like it's on a gray fabric, which I think would be beautiful. A darker blue fabric would be, pretty much any darker color behind that white is going to be really pretty. But I don't know that I would actually stitch it because it's white. But if you wanted to do it for me, have at it. I would be ever so grateful. And then Chessie and Me has a sampler called Across the Sea. And that one kind of caught my interest too. In fact, my friend Carla is trying to get me to do a start along. I think she knows better than to do a stitch along with me, because it just never happens. But a start along, we could start on the same day. I haven't committed to it yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Is that better? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Tighten that right there. So that's kind of my thoughts on market. Yes, I am going to go, which I told you I most likely would end up going. So yes, I am going. My main mission is to bring home some fabric. I did get some pre-ordered, and I've received some that's just going to stay in its box for right now. Connie's going to come after we get back and help me get the fabric ready to be put out, because some of you may have noticed that you can no longer buy by the square inch through the website. You have to call the shop to do that, and it was because I was having a lot of trouble people not being able to, they just couldn't figure out how to order it by the square inch. And I was spending a lot of time tracking people down to figure out what they actually needed. So you can still order by the square inch, you just have to call the shop in order to do it. So some of the fabric, probably a good half of the fabric that I've got, I'm getting in, I'm going to be doing pre-cut sizes. So fat eighths, fat quarters. There may be a fat half in there once in a while. But since I'm just kind of starting the whole process, it's a lot of money. And I don't want to do it for all of my fabric because my local people like buying by the square inch. So you can still buy by the square inch, you just have to call me. So that's going to be kind of a time sucker because we're going to have to get that. I don't know how other shops do that. I know the fabric that leaves here, I serge, and I think Connie has told me before that when she buys it online, most of the time it's not serged. But it's completely self-serving for me as a framer. I don't like tape residue, and there's just way too many people out there who are still taping the edges of their fabric. So I guess I'd rather spend a little time and a little bit of money, because the thread's not cheap, serging it so that some poor framer out there doesn't have to deal with the stickiness of the tape residue. So it just wigs me out. I have a, not a had, he's still with us. I have a nephew who has never been able to handle tape or Band-Aids at all. Even tape sticking on, holding something on a window, it would totally gross him out. That's a little extreme. I don't have that issue. I just don't like to touch the stickiness. I picked up the extension cord here yesterday so that the little Alex and Emily got me one of those automatic little kind of Roombas. It's not a Roomba, but it's like a Roomba for here at the shop because the shop is big, and they thought I could, let it do its thing, and it wouldn't have to vacuum myself quite so much. And I wanted to pick up the extension cord, which I had taped down to the carpet so that the stitchers wouldn't trip over it. And some of the tape had fallen off of it, and the cord itself was sticky, and I touched it. And so it took me most of the day to get the stickiness off my hands to the point where I could handle it. So that's why I don't like tape on the edges of the fabric. That and the fact that most tape has acid in it, and it will eventually eat away at your fabric and ruin your piece. And if you've spent countless hours on it, why would you do that? Yes, I know, you're not going to be around, you don't care. But someone somewhere might. So, there are other options. All right. You are a little wonky yet. Let me tighten you up here. I mentioned retreat earlier. We are having a no frills retreat at the end of April. It's going to be a small retreat, and pretty sure that the frills retreats are over. I don't think I'll be doing frills retreats anymore. So it's small, I kind of wanted it that way because I just find a group of 25 to be a better size than a group of 40. So we have 25 coming, and that's where I cut it off. So we're going to have a red pin pillow exchange. And then we're going to do, even though it's not in May, we're still going to do Mini Mania. Just because it's so much fun. So I haven't started thinking about, I'm hoping in another month and a half, all of March and most of April, so another two plus months. I'm hoping that the fingers, they're doing okay right now. I got some pain starting between my shoulder blades, but the fingers are doing okay at the moment. So we'll take that. We will take that and run with it. I'm hoping that I'll be able to stitch as much as I want to by then. But we'll see. We shall see. It has improved greatly, so is it perfect yet? No, but it's improved greatly. Let's see. So we've got that coming up. I want to remind everyone about the state fair. Your state fair, my state fair. Put something in the state fair this year. Just put aside all your reservations, because I know there's a million excuses not to do it. But put that all aside and decide to finish at least one thing and send it to the state fair. We need to keep our art, which is what it is, out in front of the public eye. You might inspire a new stitcher. You might inspire an old stitcher to come back. And I can't think of anything better than inspiring people. So please consider that. I am dinging everybody around here as much as I possibly can. I don't want to run them out, so they never come back. But I do want to encourage, and I've had several people who have said they will think about it. So that's a good thing. So think about it. Look it up. The dates are starting to go up on most people's, fair websites. So you at least kind of know when it occurs. I don't know yet when we have to have ours in. I don't think I know that yet. Could be I knew it and I forgot it already. So that happens all the time. Okay, how do you look? You look a little like you need to be tightened. Yeah, look it up, find out your dates, pick one, get it finished, whether you frame it, whether you make a pillow, a stand-up, it will tell you on their site what kinds of categories there are and what you can put in. And just do it, and don't do it because you want to win a ribbon. You just do it to inspire people. You might win a ribbon. I don't know. But that's not, for me, that's not the reason to do it. So, that's better. That looks better. Okay, where else do you look a little warbly? Right there in that corner. Yeah. What else can I talk about? Well, as you know, we will leave next week for market. I haven't talked to the girls yet. I'm taking 3, as far as I know. I'm taking 3. And we're leaving Wednesday. Used to be we would leave on Thursday and drive straight through, but it gets to be a long drive when you're stopping to go to the bathroom for 4 different people. Usually it's just 3 different people because I can pretty much wait all day as long as I'm just sitting. But I've been advised that I should not. So I'll probably get out and go to the bathroom a little more frequently than I normally do. So by the time you stop for, your coffee breaks and your bathroom breaks and your gas breaks and food is always important. It gets to be a longer drive, and we're not as young as we used to be. So we leave on Wednesday, drive part of the way. Last year we got to stop at Artichoke Annie's outside of Columbia, Missouri, maybe. I think so. Oh yeah, she looks good now. Okay, you want to see? There we go. How's that look? Very good? This was one of those weird ones that you fuss with because, as you can see, you've got this defined border, and then this pops up over the border. So if you make it so there's the same amount of room above here as there is on the other sides, then you got this huge amount of empty space. So I made it so that there's the same amount between the defined border, which makes this sit up a little higher, which is why it is the way it is, in case you were wondering. So I would have preferred a little bit less white space around it, but then it would have been, the top of that crown would have been underneath the frame, and we don't really want that. So that's how that is. I think this one is ready to be finished. They're a little tingly, but not bad. Pain in my shoulders is not feeling great, but that's okay. I'm going to take these off now so I can actually see. What else can I talk about? I was talking about market. So usually we'll leave on Wednesday. We drive part way, usually to about Columbia, which is outside of, no. It's about, I think, 5 hours. And, well, if you didn't stop, it was probably 5 hours. But I'm hoping we can do a little antiquing while we're on the road again. Maybe try a different one other than Artichoke Annie's. There's one, I think, called the Veranda. And then there was another one that I looked up. I haven't talked to Doreen about it, though. And she's the driver, so, we'll do what she wants to do. She is not. She is unfortunately traveling with 3 people who like antiques, and Doreen is not an antique lover. She will go in and go through that big, I think Artichoke Annie's was 30,000 square feet, something like that. And, she walked through it in about 30 minutes. Lori and I could have been in there for a week. So, and I don't think Rosie's any better. Yeah, if she doesn't want to stop, I can understand that. It'd be like her wanting to stop at a golf museum or something, and I'd be like, no, thank you. So then we'll get there on Thursday. We can't check in until 4. I screwed up this year, bigtime.com. I don't know. I did not get the first email saying it was time to reserve our rooms. And we usually get 2 rooms because 4 women in 1 room is not pleasant. and I screwed up, or I didn't see it, or it didn't come through, or something. Usually I'm Johnny on the spot. I'm watching for the email. And as soon as it says, oh, it's time to make your reservations, I make the reservations, even if I'm not sure whether I'm going or not. But I didn't. I saw the second email that said they were almost out of rooms at the Embassy Suites. And I hopped on right away, and there was one room left. And it's a king room. And there's no way we're getting 4 people in there. So I said we could all stay somewhere else, or 2 of us could stay at the Embassy Suites, so we have a room to go up and take a break, or, you know, to drop off things that we've purchased. Or, you know, I left it up to Lori and Lori and Doreen what they wanted to do, and they booked a room in a different hotel. So 2 of us are staying at the Embassy Suites, 2 of us are not. I keep checking to see if anyone has canceled, and so far no one has. Because it would just be better if we were all in the same hotel. But it was my screw up, so I don't know how I missed the email. So I have a feeling that for some reason maybe it didn't come through. My earring is hanging wrong. So that's going to be a little different to not have them, because we usually have a good time in the evening laughing and visiting and stuff, and they'll have to, I don't know where they're staying. I haven't asked yet. So I'm sad about that. But we'll go. We're gonna do our best to bring home some good stuff. Like I said, my focus is going to be on fabric, but I'm sure everybody's focus is going to be on fabric. So I don't know if we'll get any. We'll see. We'll see. I did, like I said, I got some pre-ordered, so I know what I'll have some fiber on a whim, and I'll have some Fortnite. But mostly what I ordered was neutrals, no colors. And I'd like to pick up some colors, but I like to see the colors in person. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get. And then we'll head home on Sunday afternoon. Drive part way. Last year we ran into an ice storm. So we pulled over and stayed and waited for didn't leave right away in the morning because we were waiting for the roads to get a little better, which was a good thing we did. And so we'll be home, we'll actually arrive home on Monday. And then Connie is supposed to be here. I think she's supposed to arrive Monday. Yeah. And then she'll be here, and Rosie said she'd be available, and I think Doreen and Lori both said they'd be available. So between the 5 of us, we should be able to get everybody's orders pulled together fairly quickly, and those that I need to mail out pretty quickly, I'm hoping. Providing I can bring everything back. I only pre-ordered from a couple of designers, things that I thought would be likely to not be available in person. So a lot of the stuff I actually am going to have to go and purchase, and I did that because I wasn't sure. How much money I was going to need to take, so I wanted to have everything. I've got most everything has a price on it, so I can kind of figure out what my pre-orders are going to be for charts and that sort of thing, and then so I kind of know how much I'll have to spend on fabric. But if I don't pre-order, then I can always adjust, like I can not bring any back for the shop. which I'm probably not going to bring much back from the shop that's not already pre-ordered by a customer anyway. Just because I think putting my money into fabric is a more important thing right now, because that seems to be what's selling. So that's kind of how the market experience. I'm looking forward to seeing my friends from Stitcher's Garden down in Arkansas. Linda and Shannon. The very first year that Marianne and I went, were very, very kind to us. When we didn't know what we were doing, the restaurant in the hotel we were staying in was really busy, and it was going to be a long wait for breakfast, and they offered to share their table with us, and so I look forward to seeing them every year. Shannon hasn't come for a couple of years. I don't know if she'll be there this year or not, but I look forward to seeing Linda every year. I know she's had a rough time with her shop, had a pipe burst, but it looks like she's getting things back into shape, so said a lot of prayers for her. So I look forward to seeing her and some of the other people that I know that I've met over the years. So it's a good experience, and we'll have a good time and come back with lots of memories. What else? Abby brought the kids in Monday. She wanted me to babysit them, but I didn't think I could get up and down off the floor and carry Hayden around. So I said I would be happy to push them in the cart in the store, and then she could have another cart to put her stuff in, because she says there's no room for stuff when you've got 2 kids in the cart, which is true. So I went to Target and Sam's with her, played with the kids for a little while. It was kind of funny the last time they were there. They weren't there for very long. I came home and they were packing up to leave, and somehow someone told me no about something, and Reese whipped around on him and said, "You don't tell Juju no. That's not nice." I just about died laughing. She was so serious about it. The kid tells me no all the time, but apparently no one else can tell me no. So it's fun to watch her personality develop. And Hayden is starting to get his personality too, and he's going to be a pistol. He'll look right at you. You know, you can tell him not to do something. He looks right at you, and he gives you this grin, and he's got these dimples. So he gives you this grin, and it's like he just watches you while he does what it is he's not supposed to be doing. So he's gonna be a handful too. She's got her hands full with the 2 of them. They're too smart for their own good. We went to Emma, who's our oldest grandchild, had her first dance competition on Sunday morning. So we got up and went downtown to see her first competition dance. And it's our first experience with anything other than just a dance recital in a small venue. And, you know, there are girls running around everywhere and parents running around everywhere. And there was no security, and there was no, you didn't have to pay to get in. You just had to pay for parking. But you could have parked in and walked in from somewhere else. You wouldn't have had to pay anything. And it just seemed to me to be a very disorganized, kind of chaotic mess that would be very easy to lose a child in. And apparently, after Dan and I left, Emma did get lost for about 10 minutes. Luckily, she knew where her dad was sitting, and so she went and found him. But she got separated from her group, which scared the bejesus out of me, because I'm telling you that anybody could have gone in there. And, it's probably a pedophile's wet dream all those little girls running around with all the makeup on and the skimpy little outfits, and I was, I hope they're not that way all the time. But I was told that that was one of the more organized ones, so it scares me. I'm a worrier, and it really bothers me. So, but it was good to see her dance. She did pretty good. She was in the back row, and we were clear to the back of the room, so I couldn't see real well. But she seemed to do good. Had a good time. Although if you ask her if she had a good time, no. I asked her if she was excited, no. Like, why are you doing it if you're not enjoying it? But it's not my kid. So so that was our weekend last weekend. I worked. This weekend we have stitching here at the shop from 11 till 2:30, somewhere in there. And then I will go home and start packing for my trip. I tried to get a new pair of tennis shoes, and I ordered like 4 pair, and I don't like any of them, so I'm going to have to send those back. They were really cute though, but they slip on my heel, and I don't think walking in them for hours every day while I'm there is probably going to work out real well. So that's about, I think, all I have to talk about at this point. That's the only piece I have that is ready to be framed. I have some that I could try and stretch, but I don't think I want to push it. I think I'll take it slow. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be getting my new door. Currently it's a solid wood door, and I just prop it open every morning, and it just stays open all day. And I finally put people would just come in, and I'd turn around and there'd be someone behind me, and I startled a lot. So I got a doorbell so that when someone walks in, it dings. That one's turned around. It dings, which is very helpful. But they had ordered, when I signed the lease, they ordered a new door that's got glass in it. And I heard from the landlord earlier this week that the door was supposed to be delivered yesterday. And they were going to install it tomorrow. So I might have a new door tomorrow. And I haven't decided whether I'll close the door then or keep it open. I don't know. I don't know how I want to do that. I'm just, at this point, I'm used to it being open, so I might just leave it open. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much all I know. I didn't write anything else down. No other questions. This is pretty disjointed. I'm sorry. Trying to do 2 things at once, talk and pin at the same time. I'm not very good at that anymore. I used to be able to multitask, but boy, as I've aged, not at all. So anyway, I think I will let you go. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Let me know if you've seen anything since my last video that has caught your eye. And I hope you're getting lots of stitching done. And I will see you the next time. Take care until then. Bye.